So Red Velvet might be my all-time favorite girl group in K-pop. What's up, everyone? This is not Car K-pop, and welcome back to the second channel where I talk about stuff that I don't think's good enough for my main channel, because usually there's not a point, it's just me talking like this. And I've recently come to the realization that Red Velvet might be my all-time favorite girl group somehow, and I never realized it. So let me just explain like how this came to be. Basically, they just released Birthday, right? And I ended up loving basically the whole album, except one song was like, okay, and the rest of the album was like really, really good. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Wait, what are my favorite Red Velvet songs? And I went to check them out, and this is what I found. So on the screen now is a program in our Discord server called Shu. If you're watching the second channel, but you're not in the Discord server, I highly recommend it. Our entire community is there. Come join us, make some friends. It's an awesome place. But I digress. I looked at this from Shu, which tells you when you sync up your Last FM listening statistics for music with Discord, you can look up stats like this, and it tells you your all-time most played songs. And I looked at Red Velvet's, right? And I see this. And essentially, it kind of blew me back because I'm like, wow, all 10 of my favorite Red Velvet songs have over 100 plays. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but I listen to like a lot of music, right? So there's some people that have like thousands of plays on one artist, but I tend to have like, not too many plays on one artist, but a lot of different artists and a little amount of plays. So 100 plays on 10 different songs is really rare for me. There's not many groups that have that. Like, I don't even think BTS does. So it got me thinking, like, what other groups do I listen to a lot that would compare? So I looked up groups and I started, with Girls' Day. This is the group that got me into K-pop. And all these stats are basically from 2020 till now because that's when I started tracking this, but I can't go back farther. So I'm just going to trust, this is like pretty accurate sample over the last 2 years. Girls' Day don't even have one song over 100, which is wild to me because they were the group that got me into K-pop, if you know how I got into K-pop. And I've always said they're my all-time favorite group, but I never recognized Red Velvet like that. So I'm like, okay, surely, right? There's got to be another group. Maybe it's because Red Velvet's a big name SM group. So, maybe the big name YG group twice. I really just said YG group twice. What the fuck? JYP group twice. And I look at Twice, and in the past 2 years, Twice don't have 100 played song from me. It looks like this, right? And I love Twice. I mean, I used to love Twice a lot more, especially in 2016 and 2015, but, I still listen to a few of their songs, but they don't do nearly the amount of plays that Red Velvet do for me. Okay, well, what about Blackpink? Because not only are they a big girl group, but I also had a huge stint of loving them in 2019. Around then, I was, obsessed with Blackpink. And, nope, they have, 5 songs over 100, but then it just falls off and doesn't nearly have as much towards the end of this list. So it just got me thinking, what other artists do I just listen to a lot off the top of my head? Dreamcatcher, huge fan of Dreamcatcher. Put them in, they're pretty close, but it's still not as much as Red Velvet. But I make a tons of videos, or at least used to make a ton of videos about Dreamcatcher on my channel, but they don't even have 100 played songs? Okay, Idol. I make a shit ton of videos on Soyeon. Idol surely has nope. They're close. They're really close. They're up there with Red Velvet. But yeah, they're not to the point Red Velvet is, and I can single out why I listen to Idol so much. It's 90% of the time for Soyeon. Red Velvet, I don't have a rapping bias like that, And then let's try Luna. I used to be obsessed with Luna when they were pre-debut and debut. Oh no, not even close with Luna either. All of these groups, it's I feel like, Oh My Girl, right? Oh My Girl, I used to have a huge stint with. I would call them my favorite girl group back in 2017. Nope, they aren't at that level. CLC, maybe? Nope. None of these groups have even close to the amount of total plays Red Velvet does for me. So it's just like, is Red Velvet my favorite all-time group? Obviously, my favorite girl group right now is Billy, and all-time would be Stray Kids or BTS probably, based on how much I listen, but it's just my conclusion here, if there is one, is I never noticed how much I actually listen to and like Red Velvet's music until right recently, right? Apparently, I really like Red Velvet, but I never talk about them like that. They're always the secondary group to me of oh yeah, I always love the stuff from Red Velvet, but they're not my favorites. And then I go and look, and I end up listening to more Red Velvet music than the ones that I call my favorites, So it's just kind of weird to me. I wanted to point that out and talk about it. Let me know if you guys have any weird statistics about your listening habits you never noticed like this. I'd be interested to see in the comments, but thank you for checking out the second channel video. I'll see you guys next time. New Revival album is awesome. Go check that out if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later. Celebrate is song of the album for that. Just saying. See y'all.